So, what are some of these basic laws and ethics that people should apply in filmmaking? Guys, I know we operate in the space ya kufanya production. Watu wengi wanapenda production, watu wengi wanapenda kushoot content, watu wengi wanapenda kushoot movies, watu wanaenda kushoot music videos, documentaries and such stuff. But sometimes we don't understand tuna operate in a space yenye iko na sheria, na ukienda kufanya hiyo kitu unaifanya kama biashara. Of course, if you're doing it as a passion, still kuna repercussion. Hiyo ni nini? If you're doing it as a passion, kuna repercussion. Nafaa kupigwa. Watu wa poetry mko wapi? Okay, sawa. So, let me now just delve a bit, because hii ni swali nimekuwa nikiulizwa sana na wase, and I feel like it's important for us to understand when we are doing this, we are entering into this business ya film, what should we understand? Like, what is our requirement? Ni kama mtu saizi akiamua kufungua shop ya kuuza food, utaenda kutafuta license ya hiyo biashara na pia maybe ile barua ya health and stuff like that, sindio? So when it comes to filmmaking, photography, videography, content creation, what are some of the laws that you're supposed to be conversant with? Of course, kuna laws za kwanza yenye watu hupenda kutumia ni mambo things to do with ile article 34 ya freedom of speech, like your freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Kuna article 33, kuna hizo articles zenye ziuongelelea mambo za expression, because art in form of videography, production and even photography inakuwaga na a lot of expression, so you are allowed, so you have freedom to do that. But however, in as much as you have freedom, there are some things that zinakuja na limitations zake. Number one, when you get into the phase of now doing content and you want to do production of documentaries, of narrative films, of maybe, let's say, even advertisements or corporate events and stuff, some of the things zenye unafaa kuwa conversant nazo ni number one, you need to get a filming license. Guys, huku nje hata saizi, by the way, acha tuulize mtu wa kamera yangu hapo nyuma, manze umechukua license ya hii video ama tunashoot alafu tutakuja kuulizwa baadaye ati tunashoot nini hizo? Anyway, but because I don't know if we have a provision yet in the law that allows easy content zenye si ushare online kama zinafaa kuwa na provision ya licensing or stuff. But one thing I know, yenye you're getting to do a production that you're going to exhibit publicly, or maybe you're going to share it somewhere in the public, you need to get a license as an operator or as a person who is in the business of filmmaking. So this license inapatikana wapi? License inatushukulia kwa ya watu wa filmmaking. License unaenda kuchukua KFCB. So if you know KFCB, Kenya Film Classification Board, that is where you go pick your license. But I think as late as maybe today, nilikuwa nimesikia ni kama gava, ni rumors, nilikuwa nimesikia ni kama watachange hiyo kitu ikuje ikufanyike, ni kama wana scrap off hiyo stuff. So KFCB, mtu update, mtu ambie kunaendaje, because mnaacha watu wanafanya tu vitu tu kuinje na hawajui venye wanafaa kujipanga. Then after getting your filming license, the second thing that you're going to do is you submit your script. Ndio upewe hiyo license, lazima submit your script yenye unaenda kushoot, ama your content unaenda kushoot lazima uiseme ni nini unaenda kushoot. And then from there you get to the point of now coming to get a permit. So lazima uende uambie KFCB, how many days are you going to shoot? Kama ni documentary ama feature film ama short film, how many days are you going to shoot? If you're going to shoot for 2 days, for 3 days, for 5 days, for 1 week, a month, lazima uende uinform wakupatie sasa permission. Tuko kwa inchi. My guy wa camera, tuko na permit ya kushoot, lakini unajua tunashootia kwa studio zetu, so tuko like so tunafaa kutafuta permit ama nini? So anyway, that is also another thing to discuss. It's very debatable, but KFCB mtuambie, mimi na shoot content kwa nyumba, so na hii time na shoot saa 5 usiku. So I don't know guys, kama saa 5 usiku nafaa mnipatie permit na shoot ndani ya nyumba yangu na naipost YouTube. Sawa, but anyway, so coming back to the point of getting that permit, you need a permit. Ndio ukienda kushoot ukue na permit yenye umeexplainia KFCB that you're going to shoot for 5 days. So that is something that has been in existence in law since 1963. Then the other thing that you need to get, so of course umeenda umefanya shootings zako, labda for example you're shooting in a county that you have to pay permits. Also kuna county permits. Manze hapa kwa masheria na hizi legal documents zenye mtu anahitaji una need kukua rada. So after you've gone kama unaenda kushoot in a county, in a certain county that you're not familiar with, make sure you found out the rules about that place. Ndio usiende umeenda kufilm hiyo place na maybe umeenda kufilm for a client, kama ni documentary unafanya na hiyo client haja get permits za hiyo county za kuallow kufanya production in that space, maybe unamshootia. So make sure you also ask about that. Then the other thing, that another document or legal understanding that you need to have, especially when it comes to filming. Okay, manze, can you have something called location releases? Location release or location permits, hizi ni documents zenye ukienda kushoot mahali unafaa umesign na huyo mtu, anasign hiyo document kama amekupatia ruhusa kutumia location yake, especially kwa wale watu ambao tunaombaga spaces. Unaweza enda kuomba ofisi ya mtu, unaomba nyumba ya mtu, unaomba hizo space. Acha niulize mtu wangu, tuko na license permit ya huku, unajua unafaa upe mama wa huku pesa ya sign anikubalie, juu siku moja hii video imekuwa imetrend, alafu anakuja kuniuliza like ni aje these people, the time we were shooting here sikuwa nimekubalia, huko umenipambia nita sign permit fulani ni allow ushoot kwa nyumba. So please, that is a very important document that you need to have when it comes to also the aspect of filmmaking. The other document is contracts. Easy contracts unapea your cast and crew, the people you're working with. Make sure you share the contracts with them so that they know the scope of work. They understand how much rights do they own. Because, right now, I'm the person in the other side of the camera, whereby I'm talking to the camera. But there's somebody behind that camera who has done this setup and who is filming this. Huyu mtu, manze, ulipewa contract na manager wangu, leo tuna engage na mtu wangu wa nini. Ulipewa contract because anahitaji kuwa na contract, like whatever he or she is doing is a creative work yenye anatumia akili yake kuidocument. So hiyo ni skill yake tuna bank on while we are doing this video. So I need to give this person a contract. I need to tell her the scope of work yenye anafanya inatoshana aje. Okay, so that is a very important aspect yenye we need also to be very familiar with in terms of maybe those legal documents or just laws, understanding the laws around filmmaking. Then the other thing will be, especially now when it comes to when you sometimes hufanya content and then there are people who appear in your videos without knowing, make sure you also ask them. Don't go posting people, especially when you hufanya pranks. I don't know how you guys deal with people, but for those ones I know, when you wanafanya prank, before they go post it, they have to ask for permission from the person when you walikuwa ameshoot your video, because this is another place yenye privacy, hizo mambo za data privacy and data protection, there's a policy around that. So you need to make sure that the people appearing in your video, they have allowed you, they have given you permission for you to use their image in your video. So mimi pia mimi nimepewa contract, producer atatuambia hapo, but of course so you need a contract. Then after that, after umeshafanya hiyo production, of course umefanya, hata editor wako utampatia the contract akifanya hiyo job. So after that unakuja sasa kwa the content ikishatokea, lazima upeleke kwa KFCB for them to classify. So how do they classify? They classify content yenye unaenda ku exhibit to the public. So they have to rate that content, whether your content iko na violence ama haina violence, iko na vulgar language, iko na nudity and vitu kama hizo, like they have to check through ndio wajue kama hii content is it suitable for children maybe below the age of 10 or general exhibition. And then kuna sasa hii yenye nia maybe ni 18 plus adult content ama waiban. Simaona KFCB wanabanigi vitu, they can ban it. So you need to have that information and be conversant with that. So lazima utachukua hiyo content before when they exhibit ama we show it anywhere, you have to take it to KFCB. Then again, I'm coming back. KFCB, let's discuss. You guys, this is a content you are posting on YouTube, but the law doesn't say that. Of course, YouTube is a public space, but it's a space people go by choice. And people click on something by choice. Should we classify the content we are posting on YouTube? KFCB, jibu. So you need to also advise us on that, ndio tujue pia maybe what are we supposed to do when it comes to this YouTube content, because sometimes we click on a content on YouTube and then unapata some things zenye maybe ulikuwa unataka kuwatch na family, then when you start watching you wonder like what are these, so unataka kuzimazima hapo haraka. Maybe those people didn't warn you. That's why sometimes it's advisable for you as a person who is a creator, be very diligent with your consumers and advice. I love the way some other even podcasts watu huongea mbaya, ma F words, ma S nini so they normally start by a disclaimer. So the moment wewe mwenyewe umeclick ku open up kufungua hiyo nini, so I think they do that thing we call like a self regulation or self classification. So they will say this content is for 18, so don't watch. So niliona mwingine akisema ati content zake juu zinakujaga usiku, anafanyaga hizo production na live usiku, ati sasa ati watoto wamelala hata wata watch. Manze uko YouTube, so YouTube sinta watch content yako hata asubuhi ama whichever time. So it's very very important for you to take the classification, your content for classification on to KFCB. And then also get kama unaenda kuionyesha to the public, for example this video can be used in a school setup or maybe in a public space watu wanaifollow like a public lecture. This is something also you need to get a license around exhibition. So distribution and exhibition, you need a license for that. So if you're going to do that, you make sure you get a license for that from KFCB. I think I've taken you through some of the now legal documents that you need to have. So of course hizi tu ni basic laws and principles around filmmaking zenye nimeongelelea for on this video, but I'm going to cover a few things in the next video around some of the laws that you need to know, which articles, which maybe caps and which sections of the Constitution of Kenya that affect us. Na tukikuwa na hii knowledge, tunajua things to do with the law, itakuwa very easy for us to have a discussion around hata our MP na, because MPs are the legislators in the our legislators, wanafaa understand what happens to this person who are creators, what do they need, what kind of laws should they come up with, because I tend to feel like MPs wetu hawaelewi. They don't know even what happens when it comes to laws governing production, laws governing content creation. Wanajuaga tu za data privacy na privacy protection na policy and stuff, but they don't know the laws that zinafinyilia watu. Because for example, let me now just give an example, a quick example. If I want to go and shoot a short film, I have to go get a license for that film. That film, already I have a license as a business person when yenye natumia cooperate. The next thing, I'm getting a license for that film. That one film, license ya short film, ni 5,000 bob. Could get it from KFCB. Now, how will you determine if it's a short film? Because you'll have to share the script. Your screenplay yako yenye iko ready for shooting script. Iyo ndo unafaa ushare. Ukishare now, wataona need less than maybe 20 pages and stuff. Atakwambia ya sawa, hii ni short film, hii ni 5K. Then you go again. When you are going to shoot, of course kuna kuwaga na changes kwa set. Sometimes vitu zinaweza stretch ama zikuje fupi. Then again, you have to give them a shooting schedule whereby you have to say, hii movie tunai shoot for 2 days. So you have to tell them like, okay, fine. If you're shooting for 2 days, you have to pay a permit fee, which is 2,000 bob. So per day, ni 1,000 shillings. So ile time yenye inakupataga like umepanga scenes zako, alafu zinaji-stretch out, inamaanisha you ukienda extra day, you have to pay another 1,000 bob. So then after that, umeshamaliza umepanga nini yako, shoot yako, make sure you give the people you're working with contracts. That is very basic information, either their crew or cast members, and as much as even you're working with friends and family members, make sure each of them has a contract. Hata kama ni contract ya 1 page, like they should accept to work on that project, because inaweza trend 10 years from now, then wakuja wakuulize like, ni aje mimi naona hilo ni image yangu. Now after that, umekuja sasa kwa set, umemaliza kushoot. After shooting, umeedit. Then before you want to exhibit it, you want to show it to the world, you want to show it to people, you make sure you get now a classification certificate. That classification certificate ni ya kukusaidia sasa uweze kuexhibit to a certain audience yenye Kenya imeapprove. For example, there are some movies you might watch in Kenya. KFCB approves them for 16, maybe 16, PG-16, AMA 16 plus. But when you go to other countries, the law is different because that is Kenyan. In the Kenyan space, if I'm showing this, and I think that is why I think KFCB are finding it hard to classify or maybe to regulate the online space, because online space is a global space. It's not a Kenyan space, but maybe kama unataka kuicontrol iko ina Kenyan space. So, but KFCB, manze, kujeni tukae chini, we just have a discussion around these laws that are there. And what I feel with these laws zenye ziko already in place, ni laws zilitengenezwa kitambo. Even when the constitution ya 2010 ilikuwa inatengenezwa, I don't think we had a vibrant industry when it came to film production. So I don't, the hizo law hazikuwa amended. However, I think by now we need to have a bill, and we need to have our MPs take a bill into the parliament and just generate a law that will be very favorable to all the people who are coming into the industry, because this is an industry and it's very lucrative and it's growing. You can't be very exorbitant to people who are just coming out of school to start this business of filmmaking and content creation. So if you have any questions around the law, hit me up in the inbox or on this number on your screen, and then we can have a conversation. And yeah, let's continue growing, let's continue making. If you're there making a film, please make that film. Even if it, however bad it is, however bad you might feel like this film is going to come out, no, just make that film. Your first film won't be the best, but even your second film won't be even that perfect. However, you won't find out how you're making that best film if you don't do it. So go ahead and shoot that film. Ataka utashoot bila license, weenda ushoot, utapatana uko mbele, post YouTube. Cheers guys.